Have you ever felt like you're just spinning your wheels? You're putting in all this effort, but the results you want, they just aren't showing up? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on something called the illusion of exercise deficit, and we're gonna figure out what's really going on. So, let's get right to it. You're hitting the gym, you're sweating, you feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to do, and yet that number on the scale just will not move. It is so frustrating, right? But what if I told you the problem isn't your workout at all? What if it's a secret survival program running in the background of your own body? Okay, so first up, let's talk about this sneaky little thing called the compensation effect. Think of it as your body's secret plan to keep things exactly as they are, even when you're working your tail off to change them. And let's get one thing perfectly clear right now. This is not about your effort. You're not lazy, you're not failing, you're actually doing the work. The real issue, the thing that's quietly sabotaging your goals, is what your body does in the other 23 hours of the day. That's where the real battle for fat loss is won or lost. And this all comes down to a key concept: behavioral compensation. It's basically a fancy term for how your body, completely without you realizing it, convinces you to move a little less or eat a little more after you exercise. And just like that, poof, your hard-earned calorie deficit disappears. And look, this isn't just a theory. There's real science here. A 2009 study found that women who weren't losing the fat they expected to weren't doing anything wrong in the gym. They were just unconsciously less active the rest of the day. Their bodies were secretly compensating. This chart really shows you what's happening. See that big bar on the left? That's the huge calorie burn you think you're getting from your workout. But then your body compensates by slowing down later, and you're left with that tiny little bar on the right. That's your actual net deficit. It's a total illusion. Which of course brings us to the next massive piece of the puzzle: diet, deficits, and reality. Because we've all heard it, and it's true, you just can't out-exercise your fork. So let's see how food plays into all this. You know, when we focus only on exercise, it's so easy to fall into that trap of eating back our calories. We think, oh, I worked out hard, I deserve this treat. But a much smarter approach is to focus on the quality of your diet first, loading up on whole foods that actually keep you full and prevent weight gain in the long run. And a 2021 study made it really clear what the biggest culprits are. The foods most linked to weight gain over time? No surprise here: refined carbs, processed junk, and all those added sugars and fats. And this is the good part. The research is just as clear about what helps prevent weight gain. We're talking about vegetables, whole grains, fruits, and nuts. See, it's not about depriving yourself. It's about choosing better quality foods that work with your body, not against it. All right, so we've talked about compensation and we've talked about diet, but now let's look at the workout itself. Is what you're doing actually enough to get the job done? Because volume and intensity really matter. We've all heard this number, right? 150. The magic 150 minutes of exercise per week that's supposed to be the goal. But when we're talking about fat loss specifically, is it really enough? Well, the research is showing that for a lot of us, 150 minutes of moderate exercise just doesn't create a big enough energy burn to overcome that sneaky compensation effect we talked about earlier. The results are often, well, smaller than we expect. But here's the game changer: intensity. The science is clear that vigorous, high-intensity exercise leads to more fat loss. And part of the reason is fascinating. It seems to actually reduce how much your body compensates for the calories you burned. It's like finding a loophole in your body's own system. So that brings us to the big question: what do we do with all this? How do we move forward? Well, it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Here are 4 practical steps to get you on the right path to real results. First, consciously move more throughout your entire day. Just take the stairs, walk to the store, fight that urge to just sit. Second, stop thinking of food as a reward for exercise. Food is fuel, period. Third, focus on crowding out the processed stuff with high-quality whole foods. And fourth, maybe track your food and activity for a bit, just to build awareness of what's really going on. Okay, let's wrap this all up. If you only take one single thing away from our chat today, please let it be this: it's not about a lack of effort. That plateau you've hit, that frustration you're feeling, it's almost never because you're not trying hard enough. It's a complex puzzle of biology and behavior. But the good news is, now you have some of the key pieces to start solving it. And that's really where the power is. You're not in the dark anymore. You understand your body's secret game plan. So the only question left is, now that you know the rules, how are you going to change your strategy to win?